Hello everyone, this is Shane with Mimir as well. Today, I'm going to be reading the Havamal as translated by Dr. Jackson Crawford. And this has been asked for some time, actually. So I hope that you enjoy as I read a few sample stanzas, because this will be just a preview of what could come to the channel. So let's begin. Havamal, the council of Odin, the one-eyed. At every doorway, before you enter, you should look around. You should take a good look around, for you never know where your enemies might be seated within. Hail to a good host. A guest has come inside. Where should he sit? He is impatient, standing on the threshold, ready to try his luck. He needs a fire, the one who has just come in. His knees are shivering. Food and dry clothes will do him well after his journey over the mountains. He needs water, the one who has just arrived. Dry clothes and a warm welcome from a friendly host. If he can get it, a chance to listen and be listened to. A man needs wisdom if he plans to wander widely. Life is easier at home. He'll be laughed at if he sits among the wise and has nothing to say. A wise man is not showy about his wisdom. He guards it carefully. He is silent when he comes to a stranger's home. The wise man seldom wanders into harm, for you can never have a more faithful friend than a good supply of wisdom. The watchful guest, when he arrives for a meal, should keep his mouth shut, listening with his ears and watching with his eyes. That's how the wise get wiser. A man is happy if he finds praise and friendship within himself. You can never be sure of where you stand in someone else's heart. A man is happy if he finds good advice within himself. Many men have received bad advice by trusting someone else. A traveler cannot bring a better burden on the road than plenty of wisdom. It will prove better than money in unfamiliar places. Wisdom is the comfort of the poor. A traveler cannot bring a better burden on the road than plenty of wisdom, and he can bring no worse a burden than too much alcohol. There is not much good, as men claim there is, in alcohol for one's well-being. A man knows less as he drinks more, and loses more and more of his wisdom. It's as if a memory-stilling bird flies overhead while you drink and stills your mind away. I myself have been trapped in that bird's feathers when I drink at Gunlothsum. I was drunk. I was too drunk at Fjallar's house. The best kind of feast is the one that you go home from with all your wits about you. A noble man should be silent, thoughtful, bold in battle, but every man should also be cheerful and happy to the inevitable day of death. An unwise man thinks he'll live forever if he can only avoid a fight. But old age will give him no peace, even if weapons do. A foolish man misuses his mouth. He talks too much or says nothing as soon as he gets drunk. He'll say anything he knows. Only a man who is wide-traveled and has wandered far can know something about how other men think. Such a man is wise. Don't hold on to the meat horn, but drink your fair share. Say something useful or stay quiet, and no one else will judge you poorly if you go to sleep early. A gluttonous man, unless he watches himself, will eat to his own detriment. Wise men will often be ridiculed on account of his belly. Even cows know when they should go home and leave behind the fields, but an unwise man does not know the measure of his own appetite. A stupid man and an undisciplined one laughs at everything. He hasn't learned a lesson that would do him good. He himself isn't flawless. A fool stays awake all night, worrying about everything. He's fatigued when the morning comes. His problems remain unsolved. An unwise man thinks anyone who laughs with him is his friend. He doesn't understand that the wise are mocking him, even when he overhears them. An unwise man thinks anyone who laughs with him is his friend. But he won't find these friends when he goes to court. No one will speak on his behalf. A stupid man thinks that he knows everything if he gets himself in a tough corner, but he doesn't know what he'll answer if men ask him questions. It's best for a fool to keep his mouth shut among other people. No one will know he knows nothing if he says nothing. Ill-informed people are also the ones who don't know when to stop talking. You will seem wise if you know the answer and know how to explain it. People are not able to keep a secret of what they hear about other people. You will hurt yourself with all your talking if you never close your mouth. A hasty tongue, unless it's disciplined, often earns its own punishment. No one should ridicule anyone else, even if he owes him money. Many a man seems wise if he is never questioned, but he may prove otherwise. A man may seem wise if he pokes fun at another when the other man is away, but the man who talks behind another man's back is a fool, even if his listeners laugh. Many men are kind, but driven to fight. There will always be conflict among men. Where there's more than one, there is a fight. You should eat early, unless you're visiting a friend. A hungry man sits and gets sluggish, and his wits are impaired. It's a long, crooked walk to a bad friend if he lives nearby, but it's an easy road to a good friend, no matter how long the journey. You should keep moving. You should never be a guest forever in any one place. Your welcome will wear out if you stay too long beneath another's roof. It's better to have a home, even if it's little. Everyone should call somewhere home, even if you have 2 goats beneath a faulty roof. It's still better than begging. Better to have a home, even if it's little. Everyone should have somewhere to call home. Your heart will be wounded if you have to beg for every meal from somebody else. Never go a step without your weapon at your side. You never know when you might find yourself in need of a spear. I have never met a man so generous nor hospitable that he would not welcome repayment. Nor have I met a man so giving that he'd turn down a thing offered in return. Do not be so sparing in using your money that you do not use it for your own needs. Often what you say for your children will end up in the hands of your enemies, and many things will go worse than you expect. Friends should provide their friends with weapons and clothing. This kind of generosity shows generous mutual giving. It's the key to a lifelong friendship. Be a friend to your friend and repay each gift with a gift. Repay laughter with laughter. Repay treachery with treachery. Be a friend to your friend and also a friend to his friend, but never be a friend to the enemy of your friend. If you have a good friend and really trust him, you want good to come of your friendship, and you should speak your mind with him and exchange gifts with him often. But if you have another friend and you mistrust him, you must benefit from him nonetheless. You should speak with him kindly and flatter him and repay his treachery with your own. The same friend, if you mistrust him and suspect him to be false in his words, you should talk with him, laugh with him, but repay just what he gives you. I was young once, and I walked alone. I became lost on my way, and I felt like I was rich when I met another traveler. People's joy is in other people. Kind, brave people live best. They never nurture a grudge. It's unwise to spend your life dreading your responsibilities. I gave my clothes to 2 scarecrows once when I walked in a field. They thought they were human, as they had clothes on. A naked man feels ashamed. A fir tree decays, standing over a farm, no longer protected by bark and needles. A person is the same way if nobody loves him. How will he live much longer? The friendship among false friends burns warmly for 5 days, but then it's extinguished by the 6th day, and the friendship is over. You should not give only big gifts. Often a little thing will win you favor. I have won friends with just half a loaf of bread and a bowl of soup. Where the beaches are small, it's a small sea that washes them. And so it is with little minds. Not everyone is equally wise, but the average is moderately wise. You should be wise, only a little wise, never too wise. The happiest people throughout their lives are moderately wise. You should be only a little wise, never too wise. A wise man's heart is seldom glad if he's truly wise. You should be only a little wise, never too wise. It's best not to know your fate beforehand. You'll live happier if you don't. A torch is lit by another and burns till it's burned out. A fire is kindled by another, and a man becomes wise by speaking with other men, but foolish by keeping to himself. Rise early if you want to take another man's property or his life. A sleeping wolf seldom wins a sheep, or a sleeping warrior a victory. Rise early if you have no one to work for you, and get straight to work. You will lose more time if you sleep when it dawns. For the early riser, wealth is half won. You should know how to dry logs for firewood, bark for roofing, and also how to measure time and seasons. You should always go out with your hair combed, a meal in your belly. Even if you cannot afford good clothes, you should not be ashamed of your shoes or pants, nor of your horse, even if it's not a good one. A hungry eagle snaps his beak and stretches out his neck when the sea comes into sight. People get the same look about them when they walk among strangers and have no one to speak well of them. If you want to be called wise, you should know how to ask and answer wisely. Tell your secret to one person, never to two. Everyone knows if 3 people know. A wise man should use his abilities only in moderation. Otherwise, when he is in battle, he'll learn that no one is bravest of all. You will often get repayment in kind for words you speak to others. I have come too early to some events, too late to others. The drinks were all gone, or else not even made. A hated man gets little hospitality. Sorry. Now and then, I've been invited to a friend's home, as long as I have had no need for food, or as long as I could make my inhospitable host's cellar fuller rather than emptier. Fire is the best for mortals and sunshine. It's also good health if you have it, and living beyond reproach. No one is totally wretched, even if his health is bad. Some find happiness in their children, some in their kin, some in their money, some in work well done. Better to be alive, no matter what, than dead. Only the living enjoy anything. I saw a rich man's house on fire, and he lay dead outside of a door. A limping man could ride a horse, a handless man can herd, a deaf man can fight and win. It's better to even be blind than fuel for the funeral pyre. What can a dead man do? Better to have a son than not, even if he's born late in life, even if he's born after you die. You'll rarely see memorials or graves standing near the road that were raised for men without sons. 2 men will defeat 1. Your tongue can endanger your head, in every hand, hidden by a cloak, I expect to see a weapon. The seaman is glad at evening, looking forward to his dinner, with just a short distance to row home. But an autumn night is untrustworthy. Many things can get worse in only 5 days, and even more in a month. The ignorant man does not know how little he knows. You become foolish by listening to fools. One man is rich and another man is poor. Neither has the other to blame. Cows die, family die. You will die the same. But a good reputation never dies, for the one who earns it well. Cows die, family die. You will die the same way. I know only one thing that never dies, the reputation of the one who's died. I saw big herds of cattle owned by the rich man's son. Now they carry a beggar's staff. Wealth is like a twinkling of an eye. No friend could be more faithless. If an unwise man chases upon money or a woman's love, he will grow more arrogant, but not more intelligent. He will be deceived by his own worth. What you ask of the runes will prove true. They are the gifts of the Aesir, made by the gods and painted by Odin. You will earn best with your mouth shut. Don't praise the day until it is night. Don't praise your wife until she's buried. Don't praise your sword until after the fight, nor your daughter till she's married. Don't praise the ice until it is crossed. Don't pray the ale, nor the ale until you're sloshed. Chop wood when the wind blows. Row your boat on the sea. Court a lover at night time, for the day has many eyes. Value a ship for its speed, a shield for its protection, a sword for its sharpness, and a woman for her kiss. Drink ale by the fire, skate on the ice, by a thin horde and a horse and a rusty sword. Terribly sorry. Give your horse food, and let your dog feed itself. No man should trust the words of a girl, nor anything a woman says. Women's hearts are molded on a wobbly wheel, and deception lurks in their words. A breaking bow, a burning fire, a howling wolf, a cawing crow, a grunting pig, a rootless tree, a swelling wave, a boiling kettle, a flying spear, a crashing wave, one-night-old ice, a striped snake, the words of a bride in bed, a broken sword, a playful bear, the child of a king, a sick calf, a stubborn serpent, a prophet who foresees good things, a corpse on the battlefield, your brother's killer, even if you meet him in public, a half-burned house, a horse that's too fast. Remember, a horse is unusable if it breaks one foot. May you never be so trusting that you trust all these things. Do not put too much trust in your newly planted crops, nor in a child too early. Weather will shape the field, and whim will shape the child. Neither will stay the same. Take care not to love a woman. I'm sorry. Let me correct that. I messed up. Take care not to love a deceitful woman. It is like driving an unshod horse, a playful young, poorly tamed foal, across slippery ice, or like a sailing ship in a wild wind, or trying to catch a reindeer on foot after a mountain thaw. I'll speak plainly now, since I know both men and women. Men lie to women. We speak most eloquently when we tell the biggest lies. and even seduce wise women with these lies. A man should speak eloquently and offer gifts to a woman whose love he wants. Praise the body of a beautiful woman, and you will win her if you praise her. No man should mock another for falling in love. Love sickness often strikes harder on a wise man than a fool. No man should mock another for falling in love. Love is strong enough to make a fool out of a wise man or man who was once wise. Only you know what dwells in your heart when you are alone, but nothing is worse for a wise person than to have nothing to love. I experienced this when I waited among the reeds and my lover did not come to me. That wise girl was my flesh and my heart, though I could not call her my own. I found Billing's daughter, fair as the sun ray, asleep on her bed. The life of a lord seemed as nothing to me, unless I could live with a woman. She said, "You should come back in the evening, Odin." She said, "If you want to woo me, it is improper for others to know such a scandal." I turned back and thought that I would win her. I imagined I would win the woman's love and all her joy. When I came back that night, there was a good company of warriors, awake and ready for me, with burning flames and torches held high. I was shown my miserable way out. And when the morning came, I returned